Okay, let's continue. Question 11. Company has decided to move from absorption costing to activity-based costing. This is quite an interesting question. It was asking, it says the company currently applies an overhead absorption rate based on budgeted machine hours. So what does that mean? They're sort of saying, listen, whatever our total overhead is, and the question here is, if you see this in front of you, it means that they've already broken down that overhead. But we can actually find out what the total overhead is, and the total overhead would be 10,000 times 3 based on machine hours. And in terms of production runs, that will be 6,400 times 15. So we can actually find what those totals would be. And so you have here 30,000, and here you have 6,400 times 15. You have 96,000. So you have a total of 126,000. So that, if you like, is the total overhead cost. Now, yes, absorption costing enables us to, activity-based costing enables us to do this, but it could have just been traditional absorption costing, and it would have been driven, if you like, they're telling us, by machine hours, which means that we would have spread these £126,000 value over 10,000 hours, getting an overhead absorption rate of £12.60, which means that if you had a single order requiring 12 machine hours, if that was all we were doing, because we wouldn't know anything else, we wouldn't know any better. Remember that activity-based costing is the evolution of absorption cost basing, of traditional absorption costing. Activity-based costing is now due to total quality management, automation. But first of all, before that, we had to just have normal people doing the work. So which meant that labor was the main driver. So you have 12.6. So at 12.6, what you now have, of course, at 12 hours would just have been 12.6. 12.6 times 12, which takes us to 151.2. Yes? And that's what the situation would have been under absorption costing. Now let's see what the situation is um, under activity-based costing. They're telling us, listen, this way you now know what the drivers are. Here are the driver rates, and given that these are the driver rates, we can find what the overhead is for one unit, because we're told that a single order requires 12 machine hours and 2 production runs. So that would be, of course, 3 times 12, and then we also have 2 production runs, which is 2 times 15, right? So we have here 36, and we have here 30, and we have here 66. So what we now have is a matter of 66, and we have here 151. So this question is really asking how higher is this than this? So subtract the 66 from the 151.2, so 151.2 minus the 66, and you get this 85.20 figure. And that's question 11. Let's look at question 12. Right, so it says here that when let's just change. I don't know. I'm looking for a different pen color. Let's go for green, and I'll go for a smaller point here. Okay, brilliant. So here, this is a nice question. Standard cost. Just what's the standard cost? So with a product is expected to use 3 kilograms of direct materials. So 3 kilograms, and we know that 3 kilograms of direct materials are £1.80 per kilogram. £1.80, right? So 3 times £1.8, which is £5.40. £5.40. We know that. Less materials. Then let's look at labor. It says we are expected to use 2 hours of labor. 2 hours of labor at £2 per direct hour of labor, and that's of course £4. Sorry, forgive me. La la la. I made an error there. It's not £2. It's 11. Yes, it's 11. It says direct labor is £11 an hour, which means that if that's 2 times 11, yes, so I have 2 hours of direct labor, and direct labor is 11, and that's therefore 22. And therefore the overhead, let's talk about the overhead, based on labor hours, yes, is overheads are apportioned to £2. So 2 hours at £2 takes this to 4, right? So that's the standard cost. Let's add all that together. £5.40 plus 22 plus 4 is 31.4. Yes, £5. Let me just do that again. £5.40 plus 22 plus 4 is 31.4. So your answer there is A. Your answer there is A. Now let's look at question 13. What we have here is again an attempt to understand what the full unit cost of something is. So you hear your budgeted overheads and your budgeted direct labor hours. So we can find what the overhead absorption rate is, and the overhead absorption rate, of course, is £5. So this is how we would spread that overhead per unit. But now let's just get direct materials, direct labor, and let's put in the overhead. Yes, direct materials, direct labor. So direct materials here, direct materials are we need 3 kilograms at £2. 3 kilograms at £2.70. 3 kilograms at £2.70. Direct labor, we're told that you need 6 hours of labor, direct labor hour per 6, and the cost per direct labor hour is £18.40. So you need 6 times £18.40, but your overheads are being absorbed at £5 per direct labor hour, so you will also have 6 times 5. So let's find the total of that. So 3 times £2.70 is £8.10. £8.10. 6 times £18.40 is £110.40, and then 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, so £8.10 plus £110.40 plus 30 takes us to £148.50, right? And that's question 13. Let's look at 14. We've done something like this already, I think, today, earlier on. So we're just multiplying across. I'll just do that here. So you're really having £2.70 times 2. Here you're having £3.30 times 3. Here you're having £11.40 times 7, of course, those two together. And here you're having £17.60 times 3. Right, and that's so. And your production overheads are being absorbed at £4 per labor hour. So these are all the labor hours, aren't they? So here, of course, you have 4 times everything here. 4 plus 3 plus 1.5 plus 1.5, and that takes us to a nice steady 10. So let's do that. So basically, do all those calculations and you'll see. So £2.70 times 2 is £5.40. 3.3 times 3 is £9.90. £11.40 times 7 is 79.80. 1760 times 3 is 52.80, and then you have 4 times 10, which is 40. So let's add all these together. 5.4 plus 9.9 plus 79.8 plus 52.8 plus 40 takes us to £187.90. There you have that. And then finally, in this batch of questions, let's look at question 15. This time what we're finding is the budgeted overhead absorption rate. So we need to sort of know, well, what is the overhead absorption rate for each of these, because we're going to apply that to this project. We have a project that requires 60 meals in terms of cooking, and then you will have 8 serving dishes and 18 ingredients. So you now find that budget overhead absorption rate, which is, if you like, the 28,000 divided by 11,360, then you have 54,400 divided by 16,000, and then you have the 16,200 divided by 27,000. And so when you do that, you will have, I'll just change my pen color here. You will now have here, this is 2.5. I'll just do that here, 2.5 for the serving presentation. Then for cooking, you will have £3.40, and then for the prep, you will have 0.6. So the question says that what actually happens is that you have 60 meals, 8 serving presentations and 18 ingredients. So in effect, I'm multiplying these because this is the charge per each of these ideas. So now you have 8 serving presentations, you have 60 cooking meals, and you have 18 ingredients. And so let's work all those out. So you now have 8 times, yes, you have 8 times 2.5. 8 times 2.5 gives us 20. 60 times 3.4 gives us 204. And then 18 times 0.6 is £10.80. So we can add all that together, 204 plus 20, and we get £234.80. Great, and that takes us to the next. Those are the next 5 questions. See you in the next set.